It is. It's podcast day. We're excited. We're digging out there. What do we got? Oh, yes, absolutely.
Dude, it's fucking podcast day.
Takes you back to that time of when you remember what you were doing when you first listened to that album, or
What is going on, you champions? That's right. Yes.
What up?
Podcast day. Two dudes talk music. Yes, it is. I've been stewing on this shit all day.
What is going on?
Yes.
It's that time. It's that time. Podcast time. Hey, spill the beans, man. Spill the beans. We want it. We want this, the exclusive details.
Hey, buddy.
It's that time. It's about that time. How you been, my brother?
Dude, I'm so happy. You know what it is? It's Thursday, bro. It's podcast day.
Thursday, podcast day, best day of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, how you been, man?
Man,
You've been
good.
doing them gymnast streams. They've been going strong.
Dude, they have been. I had one that clipped 100, so that was very nice.
Ooh,
Yeah,
very nice.
so I'm very happy about that. That was with Chavez Cartel, so they're coming in thick and fast. So keep your eye out for them, and keep your eye out for those ticket giveaways. They're coming up soon.
Lovely, lovely.
What about yourself, homie? How's life treating you?
Yeah, look, mate, I've been all right, been, working on some stuff in the studio, mixing some stuff, Skunk Bone and Nuclear Vision working on some new material, so that's coming together pretty nicely. Yeah, just kind of taking a day at a time. The US trip's really creeping up. It's like, well, this 4 weeks, less than 4 weeks now. So I'll be, I'll be off that, 4 weeks, less 4 weeks, this time 4 weeks, I'll be overseas in America. I'll
It's
be
going to be so much fun, man. You're gonna love it.
excited. Yeah, it should be a good one, man. Should be a
You're
good
gonna
one.
love
It's,
every second of it.
it's, a bit nerve-wracking, but, we'll get there. We'll get there, and it'll be all good. I'm teeing up an interview or two to do over there as well.
Really?
So I'm gonna try and record those, and we'll either stream them out live here on the Twitch and hang out in the chat while we're doing that, or we'll just pop it up straight up on the YouTube. So
Yeah, nice,
that
nice.
could be interesting to see how those come together.
Awesome. And everyone out there, thank you very much for going out there and checking out our reaction videos. It's been a pretty good reaction from them.
Absolutely, yeah. Lots of people seem to be paying attention to those, so that's pretty good. We might do a few more of those, seeing as those ones have done all right. The meat of the channel, I think, is still going to be the interviews, though.
Well, yeah, we've got to
but,
keep that local scene alive, mate. We've got to keep
yeah.
it relevant. We've got to keep
We
it very
absolutely
relevant.
do. Speaking of the local scene, just a bit of a sad one. I don't know if you've heard about this. Well, I know Kyle, I know you have, but not sure if our viewers may have. The boys in Thornhill had a horrible situation recently. Their rehearsal space was broken into, and pretty much everything that they own musically has been swiped.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
I mean, they're talking like about 100 grand's worth of gear,
And,
drums,
yeah.
cymbals, IEM racks, merch, cases, banners, some personal belongings, all that stuff. So that's pretty horrid for them. So we just wanted to make sure we're putting the call out. They do have a GoFundMe set up, which I am popping in the chat right now. So if anyone's interested in donating to that GoFundMe,
Helping out
that'll
the
be the
boys
link
from
right there.
Thornhill.
Help them out, help them get some of their gear back, help them get some, if you can't donate equipment, or if you can't donate money, maybe you've got some equipment that you can spare for them. So just try and reach out to them, and we just got to support support the boys, because they've had a real shit go.
It
I
is.
can't
It's so
imagine what would
sad.
happen if that happened here. If someone pinched all this shit, I'd be absolutely devastated. So, yeah, good luck to the boys in Thornhill. We hope you're doing okay. And yeah, we hope that everything kind of comes together and you guys are able to get back, if not the most sentimental things, then the most essential things at least. to keep
Everyone
doing
out there,
what you're
keep an
doing.
eye out on eBay and Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. If you're a fan and you see the guitar come up, just, you're probably going to know who to call. They're going to know if
Yeah.
it's their guitar and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be
more
scouring
ears
it.
and eyes out there.
Hopefully some stuff can be recovered.
Yeah.
But yeah, a bit of a shit go for them.
It is.
Anyway, let's moving to the reason for the season. Our guests this
Let's do
week.
this.
Mate, these boys are from a really, really amazing local punk band up in Brizzy. I've played a couple of shows with them. I've been working with them on their EP. The first song of which is getting released or launched tomorrow at O'Sculligan's.
Cannot wait to
which is
hear.
Awesome. That's that's really, really cool. I'm gonna actually put the link in the chat as well.
Very good.
Give me a second here if I can get it. Why is that link not working? Let me just put this up here and make sure it's functioning properly before I put it in the chat. But yeah, they're launching at O'Sculligan's in Fortitude Valley. So you got Shock Value, Skunk Bones supporting it, Crave as well, and Unentitled obviously headlining. Tickets are quite cheap. They're only $5 if you pre-order, or $10 at the door. And the
That's
proceeds
nice.
as well go towards a charity. They go towards Dreamtime Aroha, which we'll let the boys talk about that a little more when they're on.
Yep.
But look, let's bring them on. We got Blake and Mason from
Let's do
Unentitled.
it. How are you, lads?
How we doing?
Pleasure to see you.
Hello, everyone. Hello. We're live.
We are.
Yes,
we are
we
very
are live.
We're on TV. Well, as close as you can get to it.
Twitch TV.
This
Thank
is the
you,
be
guys.
all end all, right? We've made it.
Thank you for jumping on and doing this one, especially with the show tomorrow. I'm sure there's lots of prep having to happen.
Of
We all
course,
know
thank you
how
for
it
having
works.
us.
But yes, so like I was saying, the gig tomorrow for launching the single. Why don't you tell us the name of the single? Why don't you tell the people a little bit what the song's about and about the charity that the show is supporting?
Sure. So the single is Advance Australia Unfair. I think people will pretty easily be able to tell what it's a bit of a play on, the anthem. Sort of just started us off as just a bit of a piss take of Australia in general, but with it coming out tomorrow, obviously today being Invasion Day, or Day of Mourning for any of those Indigenous and Torres Strait Islander people out there. We sort of figured we'd tie it in with the whole, what does it mean to be in Australia? Is Australia really representing politically, is Australia really representing the multiculturalism that we claim to so beloved with Australia Day? Which I guess our point of view is no, we don't really represent very well our multiculturalism, and so clearly our anthem isn't doing a very good job either. So fuck it, may as well have a bit of a piss take song that kind of is a bit more straight, honest, direct, in your face. So yeah.
Balls to the wall.
Oh, yes, exactly, balls to the walls. And as for the charity itself, I'm really proud to be supporting these people because I've been following them for a while beforehand, and they're honestly amazing people. Dreamtime Aroha is the name of the business. It's Indigenous run and owned. They make like dolls of Indigenous likeness, and then give them into remote communities in Australia to Indigenous families, basically so kids actually have toys that look like them. Which
As opposed to the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Barbie doll that's sold at every
Yeah.
single toy store across
yeah,
Australia.
as
it.
everyone knows, that's how you're supposed to look. And so, they make these toys to basically provide a bit of extra representation. And I think that's really cool. And in general, they do like a mutual aid thing, which is just providing resources to people in need. Again, in remote Indigenous communities. And so you can go to their GoFundMe. If you just go to like their Instagram or Dreamtime Aroha, that's AROHA. You'll be able to go whatever way to the GoFundMe. Please support them. They're great people. They're doing great stuff, helping people. I could go on about it, but
Yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
pop a link in the chat for their GoFundMe
Awesome.
if anyone's interested. So I'll pop that down there as well. If anyone's interested, you can donate at that link.
We are all about the help here.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to, like I said, we always try and finish the podcast talking about how community in general, we need to help each other. So that's really important, and we need to make sure that we're supporting not just the people that they're in need, that look and think like us, but we need to also understand that supporting the community sometimes means we have to support those that are different from ourselves and have different cultures and backgrounds. So that's the only way that society is going to continue to function, basically.
Exactly. We've got to let
Well,
that
even
live.
even just simply helping those in need will inevitably help you.
Mm-hmm.
It may not seem like it so in the moment, but
Yeah.
every homeless person, for example, that we can get off the streets is one less person who is getting on drugs, possibly, who is getting involved in crime, and then all
Yeah,
the
well, it's true.
nice, all the nice yuppie white rich people don't have to worry and be so fucking paranoid when they go down the streets.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, it's in any country you go to, from any other country you go to across the world, the higher, the better the GDP, and the less homelessness, the less crime, the less drugs that are involved, the less everything. And the
Everything
more
circles back.
yeah.
Yeah, it does. We
People
help,
don't need to
we
commit crime if
support
they have
society
money.
and help
Like
that.
the only reason why you have to commit crime is because you don't have money.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us. I mean, I've known you guys for. I think what was it? We
All of
met
them.
at Moondog.
May. Yeah.
Moondog
yeah.
Festival that
No,
I
I
think we
remember
first
it
met.
still very vividly.
But obviously you guys have been a band for a bit longer than that. When did you guys form? How did it come together? Just give us a little bit about the origins there.
The
I'll let
origin
Blake
story.
start with this.
Is
I
it-
know
is
he
Because
it-
likes
I've
doing-
seen your guy's name pop up for probably say the last 2 years now.
That's
Hard.
Yeah,
basically dead on.
yeah, we're getting I think this this May it'll be 2 years.
Okay.
Like exactly.
Hmm.
I'll
Not
let
too
Blake take our origin story because I know he likes to include a particular detail.
Are we talking about the noise complaint?
Oh, that was assumed.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, when we started, eons ago, we were practicing in a very urban neighborhood at my place, and naturally, suburban. I don't know these words. Anyway, our drummer is very loud. Shoutouts to Hayden.
Hayden White, everyone's favorite straight white male.
Anyway, he's very loud and was requiring that he practiced with his own kit. So eventually, naturally, we got a noise complaint, and we were packing up, and we packed up. We're just about to head off, and the cops roll around the corner and say, "Oh, hey, g'day, fellas. Was there a party going on here?" We're like, no, we're a band. No, we haven't got a title for the band yet. We're, an unentitled band. And that's the unofficial. That's the unofficial reason as to why we're called Unentitled specifically. But there is a more.
There's a more honest reason.
There's a legitimate reason too. I just think that's funny. Through the
Yeah,
cops.
no, it was a very convenient moment, wasn't it, for sure? The name Unentitled comes from taking the piss out of Joe Hockey, Abbott's old treasurer, because he said when he gutted the fuck out of Centrelink, the age of entitlement is over.
Oh yeah.
But don't worry, all the companies still get all their money. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
Well, what
exactly.
did he?
Unentitled,
fucking Harvey
entitlement is
Norman.
over.
Isn't that the same? Isn't that the same, Mr. Hockey? Oh no, sorry, that was Mr. Barilaro, the one that got in trouble in Sydney. No, thinking about a different poly. He ended up trying to smash a cameraman and.
What politicians?
Oh,
not
but
in
wait,
trouble.
Barilaro. Yeah, I remember him. He was like the guy who I think is like of Italian descent or whatever, and was trying to really lean on it for like
Yeah.
identity politics points,
That
which is very odd
Geordie's
for a
guy
conservative to
hammered
do.
That friendly Geordie's guy absolutely destroyed him.
That's right. Yeah.
That fella.
Yeah, because he called him Mario or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say it because he won a defamation lawsuit. So
Yeah.
I'm not going
not,
to repeat what he said, but yeah, he won the defamation lawsuit, even though he called himself exactly what he called him.
Yeah. Yeah. So all right. So obviously, very socially conscious, social activism
It's good.
is a really important part of the band. Which as
Was that always a
as punk
focal
band, I
point
think
from the
it's-
beginning?
Sorry.
Was that always like a main focal point for you guys? The
Well,
political stances?
I've always been very politically interested since like I don't know, fucking 15. If anything, most people, they get into music at 15 or something, and then they end up in a band, and then they start to see the world as it is, and go, "Oh, I've got some opinions," but I'm the other way around. I had a lot of opinions about the world by the time I was 20, and then decided, bugger it, I'm gonna actually start writing music about this, because I was sort of finding that a lot of music that I was getting into, I really enjoyed the music, but I always found the subjects that they talked on just missing the point, just getting real close, but not getting it, at least as far as I saw it. So that's why I started doing it. So I guess, yeah, ultimately it's always been the intent. As we've continued since our birth, the more actually getting involved and, like, for example, doing gigs where we're supporting charities has been more of a idea that sprung out of, well, we've done so many gigs, and it was like, I can do one of these. This is easy stuff. This isn't that hard to organize. Boy, was I wrong. But anyway.
I was waiting for the penny to drop.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was sort of how the more getting involved aspect began. But the intent was always to be political. I mean, we're literally called Unentitled. Like, comes with the name, kinda. We call one of the most entitled generations, and so it's a bit of a fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, guess what? You just didn't raise yourselves, so you don't have to look too far.
Yeah.
The real problems were.
Yeah, boomers
and
may
it-
hate us, but trust us, buddy. You made us.
Yeah, that's it. Like, dude.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys had a few singles that you've released already in the past. So I'm just going to bring those ones up now.
I had a good listen to you guys this week.
So, like all the 4 songs.
Yeah, well, I was kicking around at work and I had my AirPods in, and you guys hit the mark for my morning. It was good. You guys got me ready to go. You guys got my day.
Nice.
Kicked my day in a good stride, I've got to say.
That is not our intent, but I'm glad it worked for you.
Hey, look. at the end of the day, one thing, like I was saying to you guys off stream before, I admire the whole. I don't mean any offense by this. The gritty recording. It sounds like you've just all stood in the room, recorded it with a mic, like, you know what I mean. And it's raw. It's passionate. It's refreshing in an overproduced world. It's very refreshing because you strip all that stuff away and all you're left is with bare bones, and it's a message that you're trying to get across. It's not the music. The music is a layer on top of, but the message is the main thing that you're trying to get across, which is a good thing. The music is on point. It's fast, it's hard, it's rattling, it's punk. It's fucking right there. But you guys have hit that movement again back. You guys are trying, and I appreciate it. You guys are trying to do that whole Sex Pistols raw emotion, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, yeah, it's good. It's good to see. It's good to see that it's still there.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, that was, again, going back to what I was saying, where it's like, oh, I was listening to a lot of music where I liked the music, but I didn't really feel like that. I feel like they were just missing the point. That was sort of another thing when I started getting really into like Australian bands. It always was just like, outside of this just sounding rocky, this just feels poppy to me.
Except
like,
for
it
Friends.
doesn't really.
Were you Friends or fans?
So
Friends or Rom?
I have no idea who you're talking about. Don't ask me about bands. I'm the worst.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Dude, do you want me to just end the stream? Do you want me to just end it?
My name's attached to your shit, guys. You can't be doing that.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. If you guys really need to And you can message me personally and thank me later. I want you to go on. I don't know if you use Spotify or anything like that, but just go on Spotify or even go on YouTube, and I want you to watch everything Friends of Rom have ever done. Everything.
Yeah, I think they'll be right in the pocket.
They
for,
will be in
for
your
you.
and I promise these guys were you guys 20 years ago.
Mm.
We'll take
And
your
that
word for
and
it.
they were big. These guys went like the singer went toe to toe with Kyle Sandilands on several different occasions and fucking shut his ass down. He's an absolute genius. They're still touring. They actually just did an art and
What's
something
their
show.
name again?
Frenzal Rom.
Frenzel Rom. Oh, yep. All right, something's come up. I'm assuming this is them.
They're Sydney boys.
Yep. All right. I'll have a look at this
Just
later.
Thank me
Yeah,
later.
so definitely keep that in the chamber and look into their shit because I think it's the kind of stuff that'll be right up your alley. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
just getting
Well,
back to those singles there. So you guys had,
That's just showing our
Um,
age, though, Raf.
yeah, no, definitely is.
It's not their fault.
So you guys had four singles last year. Is that right?
Yeah, that's about right.
So you
Some
had
of them rushed more than the others.
maternal obligation. Is it just maternal or maternal
Maternal.
obligations?
maternal and maternal obligations is like the merch, like
Right,
logo
okay.
aspect of it. I like having a bit of a different logo for the
So
merch.
maternal, I'm All That's Left, Hate Me, and Lest We Forget are the four singles that came out there. Obviously, the cover art for maternal is somewhat provocative.
So that's the point.
In well, that's it. And so if I understand it, if I recall correctly, you mentioned that it was when we've spoken in the past. That was in relation to the overturning of Roe v. Wade in the US. Is that correct? And
Correct,
the
yes.
implications that had for women's reproductive rights.
Mhm.
And given that Australia is becoming more and more a mini
Americanized.
US every day, the potential risk that sort of movement politically and socially can have over here. So give us a bit. Was that a song you guys kind of already had in the works? Or was it written like entirely after that came about, and you were like, no, we want to do something that's relevant to this topic? How did you guys land on that one?
We already had that song written, but only within the past 3 or 4 months had it fully been part of the set. Am I
Yeah.
disconnected?
Mm-mm.
You're good.
Okay.
No, you're here.
I saw a wiggly thing. Only a month or 2, 3, 4 months before Roe v. Wade happened did we start performing that one, and it's sort of always been our strong second song. It's been good fun. And it just happened that Roe v. Wade came out, so we were like, oh, we need to release this now. So we got a friend of ours, Teak from Toke, to
Love Toke.
Yeah. Also, our drummer is in that same band, so kind of connected at
The
the hip there.
connection.
Yeah. He was doing his some sort of uni course or college for music, and had a bunch of set up and helped us out, and was like, yep, all right, let's mic everything up. Bam, bam, bam. We did it in 3 takes, and then basically released it because we were like, this needs to come out now. It's what we've been talking about with the song for months,
Mm,
and this is the perfect opportunity to put it up.
awesome. And obviously with a title like Lest We Forget, it's pretty obvious where that one goes.
Yeah,
Well,
that one's in reference to veterans. Sort of a take on what would happen if a person who's at war comes back, has PTSD, whatever, maybe physical ailments they might have it as well, living in like a rundown sort of veterans hospital.
Halfway house.
nursery. I don't know
Yeah.
what you call them exactly, but anyways, and they're just sort of they're having to come to grips with the fact that they played a role in some war crimes, and then, because a lot of soldiers sent off at like a young age, like 18, 19, 20, 21. Like you don't really know what the fuck the world's going on. You're being told that, oh yeah,
You're
supposed to go
there
over here, protect your people back at home when these people are doing nothing really to us. And then you participate in some stuff that retrospectively looks a little yikesy when we look at the footage. And some of I just thought, like, some of these people surely have to like have some regrets, right? And not like surely not all of these soldiers are like heartless human beings who just went off to war and were super keen for it. Some are,
Mm.
but
We'd like to think they're not.
I like to think that there's some soul amongst them all, or amongst some of them.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just he comes to grip with it, and he decides that he didn't want to be doesn't want to be a part of the world, because why be a part of a world that encourages people like him at a young age when they're dumb and young and don't know anything, to go off and kill people.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think that's kind of always a ongoing concern around the military-industrial complex, to use a catchphrase, I guess. That, yeah, and the recruiting of people, as you say, at a young age, to that. Maybe they kind of get into, whether they go in through like a cadets program through their school, or whether they sort of sign up later because they don't really have anything else going on, or whatever. However they end up there, it's, I don't think anyone expects. Most people, I would hope, don't sign up to the military expecting that they're going to get to, well, with the hope of going overseas and killing people. I think they would just signing up more with the idea of
Protecting your country. That's all you go in there for.
And then you kind of get, as you say, you get shipped off halfway around the world. You get it beaten into you that you've got to follow orders or else, and then they order you to do some horrific shit, or you have to make decisions in the heat of the moment, and that I don't envy them having to make, and you end up with lives on your conscience.
The worst part about it is there's always collateral damage, and that's where I think the stories don't get told. It's like, oh yeah, you took out this, but it's like, okay, but I guarantee there was some small kids and a woman or a couple of women standing around, and these people don't just hang around on their own. The people that they're going after, they got families, and it's just war is hell.
I think it was recently Prince Harry, or now ex-Prince Harry, came out with that book where he's like really apparently very frank and honest about his experience in the Air Force. Yeah, Air Force. And he talks about how, like, he was basically just told that you got to just consider the enemy as like not a human. Yeah, they very much dehumanized the enemy. Yeah. And so much media response to that was like, all the criticism of them really just boiled down to shh. You're not supposed to talk about that bit.
Yeah, well, the thing
they just didn't like the fact that it was being really blatant. Which
look, I
don't care too much for the Royals, but I have to give them some credit.
I understand what you're saying there, but at the same time, it's like, you have to think there's other people that are being trained in the exact same manner.
So,
do you know what I mean? So it's a very unfortunate tactic that has to be used.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just
and realistically, you have a look at any person that's ever joined the military. I have family that I have my wife's family. They're a couple of them are in the military. I haven't really ever spoken to them in depth about it or anything, but from stories I've heard about it from other people, I've known people that have gone back in, and because they come back to this life of civilian life, and it's just, they just can't handle it. It's just too mundane, or it's just not, I don't know what it is for some.
Yeah.
But for the most part, these people need to get broken down. That's why the training's so strenuous. They break you down physically, so then the only thing that they have to work on now, once you've got nothing physically left, is your mind. And then that's the easy part, once you're physically done. Yeah. And then the only thing they tell you is you need to come home anything that isn't standing next to you is an enemy. Come home.
I mean,
And that's the brainwashing tactic, I guess, that they'd have to use in order to train these people appropriately.
yeah. I mean, I should just say to clarify, I understand that that's very much the reality of
Yeah.
being in the military. More so just saying, I think it's very interesting that he was just being very honest,
Yeah.
and people were like, "Oh, don't talk about that bit."
Yeah, I know.
Because yeah, I know he also got a lot of flack for people just saying like, "Oh, that's a really horrible thing," and it is at the same time, it is a bit like, well, this is the reality of war.
Did
This
they
is
ask
how
him?
it is.
Did they ask
But it's
him
just
if
like, let's
he
be
had-
honest about it.
And I think if more people had their eyes opened to what's going on around that, then yeah, it's definitely leads to some shifts in
Yeah.
perspective from the the layperson. So it's I mean and that's why people telling these stories is important.
Mhm.
And that's why, and you guys are telling a version of that story through music, through the song. So it's I mean, I feel like my great grandfather was in the, I believe it was the Air Forces during the Second World War. He was in the Pacific. He didn't sign up until after the bombings on Darwin, because he was very anti-war. But once the bombings on Darwin happened, he went like, I can't just fucking do nothing anymore.
Yeah. Once it
Like,
hits home
I
soil,
can't do nothing. It's like it's Australian soil now. Like I have to try and do something. So he
you have to
joined.
protect your home. That's the
he
only
was,
thing that the army should be allowed to do, is protect your homeland.
He was, he was a driver. He often, so he would like be driving big old trucks and radar installations and stuff. And he would often get in trouble for not carrying his sidearm. From his superior officers. They'd say, "Well, why aren't you carrying?" He's like, I'm here to drive. Like, I'm helping by driving. I'm not here to shoot anybody." Well, what if we get attacked? What if someone attacks you? Well, then they attack me. Like, I'm not here to shoot anybody. I'm here to drive. That's how I'm contributing. That's how I'm helping.
Good on him for making that stance
So-
and still being involved.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not something that he talked about a lot. It definitely left mental scars. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate it being I appreciate you guys addressing those kind of topics, because they're difficult to touch on, and a lot of bands aren't gonna be willing to take such strong stances on various topics for fear of alienating themselves, from fear of limiting their audience, I guess. But I guess that's part of what punk rock's all about, right? Not
That's
giving a
it.
fuck.
Yeah,
Unapologetic.
doing your own.
Yeah, unapologetic, I think, is definitely the key word there.
It's perfect. What's up, Hazard Halo? How you going, darling? Big love to you.
Hello.
Got someone in the
much love
chat.
to Hazard Halo. If you're watching as well and you got any questions for Blake or Mason, throw them in the chat. We love to get the questions
Please.
from the audience.
Well,
in
I
there.
actually
love talking about myself.
So coming into this now with the recording that you guys have now done at Raf's place, a little bit of a plug there. If you're in a band and you want to record in Queensland, go hit up Raf.
Just give him a few bowls of vodka, it's all good.
Yeah, tell us.
No, that was introductory offer only.
I'm
That's
interested.
Sorry, guys.
I'm
We
inter-
took the one opportunity.
I'm interested to know how was it working with Raf in the studio and going through that writing process, and then I've got a question for Raf afterwards.
You're really going to make us call him out like that? Like, oh.
Hey, no.
Yeah, no.
Look.
Here comes the 1-star review, boys.
I'd rather be a slave, like
Oh.
be a no.
Oh damn.
No,
No, no.
I actually legitimately say, Raph, you're definitely really good to work with. Like, not, definitely was stern at points.
You have to be.
but- Yeah, no,
Lot of
exactly. I
wisdom.
mean, sorry, Black, I'm interrupting you if you want to say something.
Raph has has a lot of wisdom and knows what he's talking about, and so that seems confrontational when we're dumb and
Young,
young and
without
dumb.
any idea as to what the hell we're doing. Like you said, you said that we've got it all stripped back and it's all very raw. That's partially due to our lack of understanding of how to make music.
I admire the honesty. I love it. That's good.
Like, it's partially we want it to sound that way, and partially we don't know what else to do.
Well, that's
Look,
why,
That's why you go to Raf's
that's why I'm
place.
here, right? That's why I'm here. I'm like, okay, well, how do you want it to sound? What are you angling for? Let's, and then I got to work out, okay, how do we get there? So,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean, look, you guys are. The thing is, like, I'm not some fucking know-it-all sitting up here, right? Like, yes, I may have more experience in certain aspects of this than yourselves. It's just literally because I've been around longer.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
just had his feet on the ground longer. That's all it means.
Because I popped out a good 15 years before you
Yeah.
guys. I got a head start.
Yeah. Boonda, is that Boonda Mid Band? Thank you for the follow.
Yes, thank you for the follow, Boonda.
And we have our first question from De Silver Grey. Do you think you would make better politicians than our current government, and why?
Mate, just make me the benevolent dictator. It would be so much better. Everyone could just get high and you work whenever you want.
Not just would get high, must get
Universal
high.
basic health
Universal basic healthcare. We'll figure it out.
universal income. Everyone gets a little bit of
Universal basic hot boxes.
Yes.
Yeah, sweet.
No, look.
Every Tesla is an auto drive and has an automatic hotbox in it.
To answer the question seriously, just so in case this in like 5 years gets dug up and someone goes, look, he said he could do a better job. That's not our thing. We're not politicians. We don't understand law at all. That's what
anti-politician.
Oh, well, that's you,
Okay.
man. That's me.
I think the important thing is, though, as well, like, the government needs more than just politicians.
Yeah.
And this is the problem, right? Where the government goes wrong is when everyone in government is a career politician that is only trying to set themselves up with like a $250,000 pension for life by getting the top job. Like, the government needs to have people in the House, in the Senate, at all levels of government, at local levels as well, that are not just career politicians. They have experience in what it's like to work in real jobs. Across the spectrum as well. And that, I think, is where look, I'm the last person that'll give someone like Pauline Hanson any credit, but at least she's run a small local business.
Yeah.
At least.
Which is more you can say for most of the fucking people that are sitting in Canberra there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't agree with her politics. I don't agree with her politics at
run a small
all.
business.
She's at least run a small business, so she knows what that experience is like.
That's
The thing I like about Pauline Hanson is she lets the racists feel like they get a say. And, she's already doomed to never really have much power because she's just such clickbait material. It just says so much dumb stuff that, like, she'll get, like, that slice of the pie of the population spread across the entire country. So all those people feel like they get their say.
It's like the
So
Karens of the world get a say.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they get to say you're a part of the political system. You don't, like, if you wig out and start doing January 6th like they did in America, then it's like, whoa, you had a say. You've got your guy in. Yeah, he only has one seat, but who fucking cares? I would also say, I want to say one thing to what Raph was saying. I feel like everyone is so obsessed with, like, oh, what if we had this one person as a politician? What if we had, this musician or this artist or this spokesperson, this, that, and that should be the politician because they say such great things. People are good at different things. The solution isn't just to get the one person who will save us all. Like, we're not going to come across a messiah who just will blaze his way or their way.
We shouldn't give anyone emergency powers of parliament,
Yeah, like,
Especially
the issue is the system, and the system enables, as Raph was saying, career politicians. Those people will just end up turning into career politicians eventually. Like, I think Bernie Sanders in America is like the only real case of a politician who never really gave in. The only example.
Ugh.
I've
I gotta say though,
Actually-
I do admire the answer that you gave. That you just like, man, I've got no idea about law or anything like that, so I wouldn't know how to be.
I have-
But no, it's
I have
at
the
least you didn't
tiniest idea.
At least you but at least you didn't sit here and just rattle off a whole bunch of incoherent nonsense. Do you know what I mean?
it was incoherent, but it wasn't nonsense.
No.
The well, thing is though, like as musicians or any form of artist, our job at the end of the day is to push the boundary, is to like bring up issues that people haven't thought about, so that then they can
Or too
mingle
scared
amongst
to talk
themselves.
about.
Yeah, there, and they're too scared to mingle among. Sorry, I was hearing you and I combined our words. People can then mingle amongst themselves about those issues, and then eventually some real world changes happen, and then eventually a politician picks up on that, and then eventually a whole party picks up on that.
I think
We're
we
not the
should do
people
that
to
anyway.
run the country.
Well, you say that, but
But I would do a
I've-
better job than the
I've-
Liberal government.
I've actually
Anyone.
been blessed with an opportunity. There's a something along the lines of a youth advisory program to the Queensland
I
government.
remember this.
Yeah. Which seems like the most legal way I can convince the government to do what I want. So I'm. there
No,
are
you make
ways.
that sound a lot kinkier than it should be.
Hey, that's you, not me.
You kind of did.
Me. All right, fine.
Anyway.
Yes, I will
Legally.
make the government submit to me.
Yeah, that was heaps better. That was heaps better.
The
Uh,
proletariat.
Well, so but things like that are important, right? And this is
Yeah.
where I feel a lot of kids and teenagers, young adults, they feel like, well, there's all this stuff ingrained in the system. Like, how do I make a difference? How can I be involved with that? And programs like that are essential, and that's a great way to do it. That's a great way to sort of get involved and to start, maybe, even if you don't want to go into a career in politics, trying to get some sort of involvement in some kind of sway and being like, this needs to change. This is not appropriate.
You heard it here first, folks. All right, Zoomers, harass your local politician today.
That's
Yes.
it.
Do that.
Do it.
Absolutely do.
My brother actually.
Yeah, he harassed your local representative.
I didn't get
Blake's
anything done,
brother.
but he got blocked, so it was,
Yeah, he was harassing him until he finally got blocked because I guess he didn't want some Zoomer just messaging him on the fly.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not what should be happening. Those politicians should be listening to what we have to say.
That's anti-free speech.
It is. It is.
People should be allowed to just abuse their local politicians in their DMs.
Well, that comes with your pension. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Exactly.
we pay your pension, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can listen to my DMs.
Yeah.
You can see my memes, motherfucker.
That's it. You should have to
Just-
reply to every
just-
single one by video.
Yeah, I want at
and
least a
smile
reaction
afterwards.
for each one.
And it has to be endorsed by the Queensland Government camera.
There you go.
End of every video.
Broken by Rap from Rap's Place, endorsed by the New South Wales government.
Oh.
Oh man.
So, all right. So going back, and I hate to sort of ask a question about like, well, tell the people how great I am, but like how,
Oh,
Yeah.
Right,
How was
like,
your?
how
Yeah. How was
recording?
he? How
Like,
how
what
was the experience?
what did you? Okay, we'll ask you guys this question because I'm genuinely curious to know, what did you guys learn out of that recording process? Did you guys learn anything that next time you putting together material or preparing to go into the studio, or
Yeah.
like things you might want to do different next time? Like anything out of that? Did you guys learn anything? Take away anything from that process?
Certainly, everything you just said there, because I feel like that was a loaded question. And something that, well, you and I discussed not yesterday, like not least yesterday. There's definitely a lot of planning that we were not at all aware was needed.
Pre-production.
Yeah, well,
Pre-production's important, kids. Pre-production's important,
attempted
kids.
Saves
Talk to
you
your,
so much money.
Yeah,
We
it does
attempted
help,
it.
and like the
Took
fact. I
my-
mean, I wasn't charging by the day, so you're all good.
Yeah, that's all right. We got the good stuff to you eventually, as well as. No, you know, just yesterday, Raf took my how do I say this? My singing in the studio virginity, you know.
Ooh.
So,
Oh, I don't like that phrasing whatsoever.
I was gonna say, there was so many better ways of wording that.
You could have said it worse. You could have said you popped your cherry in the studio.
Oh,
I like that
let's-
one.
let's
I'm gonna
not,
remember
let's
that.
not. Can we like? I'm banning
It's
you
right,
from
it can't happen
describing it
again.
like that.
At this point, it can't happen again. You've already done it.
If you ever describe it like that again, I'm hitting the delete button.
Oh, don't! Let's wait till we at least get the masters, and then you can just send your
Yeah,
sexy text
cancel,
messages to him later. Oh god.
Yeah, I learned that there is a lot more that goes into preparing this sort of shit. Than
Oh, you don't
I
say.
ever would have thought. Yeah, well, you don't have to think about this. All you do is scream into the microphone.
Sound fucking good at it.
Yes.
Touche. Touche.
Yeah. Why don't you learn how to scream pretty good, and then you can do it. Don't.
Yeah, you'd be out of a job if I did.
I've told you, you guys are more than welcome to run the rest of the band, and you both have said no.
What else have we learned?
I think pre-production was definitely the main thing.
Yeah. Pre-production's a big one.
Yeah, like we attempted it beforehand, but there was a bit of just scheduling issues that were involved, and yeah, it definitely proved that we should have started that sooner.
Look, I mean, if I'm being honest, I think every band makes that mistake. The first times you're going into the studio, those first few years that you're a band and you're trying to record stuff, you've got like most people just have this completely incorrect notion of what the experience is going to be like.
Yeah, we'll just wing it.
It's not anything. It's doesn't mean that you're not good at it. Doesn't mean that you don't deserve to get in there and record your stuff. You absolutely do. You guys have got great songs. I made no secret of that. When you guys were in the studio, I've said repeatedly how much I really dig the songs that are on this EP, and it's like I said, it's just one of those things that you have to learn, right? Because if I'd said to you beforehand, do more pre-production, if I'd been hounding on that point, y'all would have been like, the fuck is this guy talking about? We know the songs. We're good. And it's the same, and I know that it's the same mistake everyone makes, because I fucking made it.
Yep, same here.
For sure.
Kyle's made it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, Zach's made it. Every band that's ever been a fucking band has made the mistake on their earliest recordings of not doing sufficient pre-production. And by the time you come around, by the time you're around, in your second or third band, that's when you start to go, right, this is how we're going to prepare. This is everything we're going to do. So
This is how the song goes.
Yeah.
Do it right.
Yeah.
I think also, not to sound like I'm making excuses, because I'm not meaning to, but I am as well. Another
You
thing as
fucking
well. Another thing as well is assuming that most bands start off like any other band typically does. You don't have much gear to begin with, so like to assume that you also have the recording gear necessary to be able to bring out like good enough recordings for pre-recording. I don't know. Like we were learning how to do recording at the same time as doing our attempts at pre-recording.
Boone, we're not going to allow messages like that. All right, don't use those.
I know you blocked it out. But I'll explain it to you right here. It's punk rock music. It's meant to be in your face. It's meant to be vulgar, and it's meant to make you think outside the box. So when they use somewhat derogatory terms like that, and I guess depending on the context of which they choose to use it, is
we say something wrong?
We'll talk to you guys about it off the stream.
Yeah.
I don't want to repeat the terminology on the stream.
There's about a pile of sticks in your kidneys.
I'm not old enough to know what that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they've rephrased. Can you explain some of your controversial lyrics in the new song?
There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
what?
sure. How come you censored it then? They sung it.
What?
Okay. Yeah, we had one word in it that was a slur for indigenous. I included it because I thought it would be telling for the casualness of Australian racism.
With
But you know,
context, everything makes sense.
but you know, we decided it wasn't good enough to make the cut because I
Slur.
Well,
Yeah.
I
There
talked to
there were better ways
actual
to
in
make the point.
yeah, I talked to actual indigenous people and they were like, yeah, no, yeah, we get the point you're making, but
Yeah.
you're just not getting it across right in the way. And so I
and
was
look,
like,
man,
alright, fair enough, we'll
at the end
change
of the
that.
day, if we're really gonna complain about terms like that, you may as well just grab every single rap album you've ever owned and just chuck them out, bro. Because that's as simple as that. Like these guys are
And ultimately, Boone, as well, if in terms of your question of how come I censored it then if they sung it,
because we're not having words
because
like
it's
that.
our channel.
Yeah,
Because it's
we're not
our
having
channel.
words like that on our channel.
And these guys as a band can include whatever words that they opt to include in things.
It's their
That's their
music.
prerogative. We have the right to include or not include any specific language that that we choose on our channel. So, to be quite frank, if you don't like the fact that we censored it, bye. Anyway,
However, if
People
you
so
do
just
like
perfect example there about how punk music can be quite controversial at times due to its confronting nature.
It's like people forget
Yeah.
about Sex Pistols and Dead Kennedys, like.
Yeah, or Eminem, or
pretty
Eminem for that matter, or
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that
we are nothing but
once
love.
like this is something that we talked about once, because I'll be honest, the line that was censored in the new song, I didn't pick up that's what it was, that there was anything wrong with it at first. I thought it was a different word than what it was, which is why I didn't say anything at the time when it was initially being recorded, and we've quickly now fixed it up. So the better version or the improved version is the one that'll be coming out. And if I had picked up on it at the time, I wouldn't have allowed them to do it in my studio, because I'm not going to accept that.
If it makes anyone feel any better, one, Boone, or whoever, whatever, if you want to have a chat with me privately, I'm more than welcome to have one, because I imagine you're going to be all tough in the comments, but then in person it'll be a whole other story. But outside of that, yeah, sure. We used the slur. It was offensive. Alright, we talked to
And at
people
this
about
point-
it. We decided to change it.
It's good,
What more do you want?
mate.
We've
like,
changed it now. Like, what
you
more
were
do you
you were
want?
active.
We can
you were
only-
active.
We can only do the right thing. Like, what do you want me to like? Fucking get down
Yeah.
all fours
No.
and like.
No, but and
And
this
I
is
think
this is the problem with cancel culture. That is exactly what they want you to do. They want you to hold on to that one thing that you said forever, never get over it, and have to grovel and beg and apologize and never grow as a person. You are that person from when you said it for the rest of your fucking life. You are not allowed to grow as a person.
People change.
Exactly.
And that's it. And I think the important thing is, was a mistake made? Yes.
Was it rectified?
Was it then recognized and rectified, and are the people involved now trying to do better? Absolutely. And to deny someone that is
Opportunity
is wrong. You can't. I think where the whole thing falls down is people being, not allowing people the opportunity to improve and be better.
Yeah, man.
And as you said, Cole, like holding people to that for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
Holding
at
people
that
to,
one moment,
this,
it's wrong.
This is a mistake that you made. X, Y, Z. Well, we don't allow you to move over that. And in reality, I think
Certain things you can't. You kill someone, no, I don't think you can. Or
yeah,
you
no,
hurt a
like
kid or anything like that.
actions are different. Actions are different.
Words
but
and thoughts. No, you
words,
can always
words and
change those.
thoughts. Those are the things that I think people, deserve the opportunity to improve and change on. So, but yes, look, this is one of the things.
Thank you for the follow.
Yes, thank you for the follow. And yeah,
This is
Haz and
why
Haley,
we
we
do
are
what we
nothing but
do.
love. We want to try and stick to focus on the positive. We want to try and keep the love going. And you don't have to agree with something to respect it. Obviously, there are some things that don't get any respect whatsoever anyway. But yeah, no, I agree. There's lines there, and this is part of the problem I think with the way people will approach controversial music, right? Is they'll say, well, that line in that song has an offensive word in it,
Yes, but it's
but they
making
won't say what's the context of that.
and what conversations does it bring up?
Yeah, and it, look,
That's
in this
the big
instance,
thing. We have
I
to
believe it.
things
I
like
think in
this
this,
is political music is meant to stir conversation. It's meant to be confronting. It's meant to be in your face. This is what punk rock at its core is. It is
and
not.
that doesn't justify. I mean, that doesn't justify just going out there and throwing a bunch of slurs around or anything. Obviously,
Certainly not.
but it's, you know, if it's done in there has to be done in the right way with nuance and context. And I think in this scenario, it was simply decided that the context wasn't there after reflection on the incident. So,
And you know what the great thing about music is as well? I don't know if anyone knows this, but you don't have to listen to it.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
not. It's certainly not something we're trying to encourage.
No,
It's
but
more so. It seemed all right at the time because of the context.
I think it was just like me
okay.
knowing
Also, your
the
Byron-
full.
Your Byron Bay is showing.
Look, that's a whole separate issue. But I think I was asking what the context was. You were asking what the context was? Well, it was just simply I thought I just think that casual Aussie racism is really fucking disgusting. I grew up in a average middle class Australian family, and I heard that word a lot to describe one group of people, and I was the only one who didn't use that word because it's like, yeah, I recognize that it was a slur. So I thought I would characterize casual Australian racism in the only way that I knew how, which is, I guess, using a slur. But, you know, is what it is. Whatever. I'm happy to change it. I don't really care. I'm just, I only want people to listen to the song and feel comfortable.
But obviously the context surrounding that is obviously growing up around that accepted Australian social racism that particular slur gets thrown around, and I remember growing up around it too. The jokes that were surrounding it as well. So once again, by essentially, you've brought up the conversation now about how the last 20 or 30 years that it was just so casual to use, and it's not okay.
and I think just ultimately, you know, that was the intent behind it. Ultimately, the decision, I think, was that if you don't mind me saying so, Mason, the decision ultimately was, I think, that context and nuance around it wasn't there in the song.
Yeah, no.
And you shouldn't have to, and the fact that it would have to be explained outside of the song meant that it just ultimately wasn't going to work.
Yeah, no. That's
You have to
a good way of
explain
putting
it. It's not good enough.
That's
the only thing I'd add to that was, because I think I was going to say this earlier anyways, was so everything I just said as to what the intended context was, that was all in my head enough to be like, yes, clearly that is the point of this line. Clearly we can see that. And I just was like, yep, cool, we will just continue writing the rest of the lyrics. All right, we're now doing the song, we're now singing the song, it's recorded, all right. Oh, yeah, the context really isn't there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get stuck in your own creative project and you don't really realize what other people are gonna hear, perceive, or whatever when they get it. I mean, that happens just when I show something to the band.
And we all have these biases where, you know, we kind of assume everyone thinks more like us than they actually do.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of communication problems happen. I'll just going back to the chat there. CJ, thank you so much for tuning in, my man. Hope you're doing well. Saw you launched your own podcast, so I guess we're enemies now.
Hey CJ, if you need any other bands for your podcast.
What the fuck?
Are we exclusive to you guys? When's our next?
Yeah,
what's the contract?
Where's our
contract?
fucking
When you-
Netflix
You should have got more
deal?
vodka out of it, mate.
Mate,
So-
my finger's getting closer to that fucking delete button. Let me tell you what.
We're punks, we're not sellouts, motherfuckers.
That's it.
That being said, Hayden said he'll sell out any minute.
You can't say that about Hayden.
It's not
He's
selling out.
nice.
I can't, he said it.
It's not selling out. It's buying in.
True.
Yeah, no, you want to sell out every night.
That's it. That's exactly
Yeah.
right. That's exactly
yeah,
right.
I get it.
Like
was tough.
tomorrow
Yeah.
at O'Sculligan's in the Valley, where
There
we're
we
supporting
go.
a charity
There we
There
cause.
you
a
go.
worthy
Nice
charity
segue.
cause.
That was
I'll
good.
put the
Yeah.
ticket link
That was
down there
good.
again.
Put that
I'll
link
put
in.
the ticket
Oh,
link
fuck
down there
yeah.
again.
Boonda Mid, I hope you.
Your questions have been answered.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah, I hope your
yeah,
questions have been answered. And look, as Mason said, I
They
believe
have
Mason's pretty
rectified the
happy to have a chat,
situation, and yeah,
More than
more,
happy.
more directly
Yeah.
with
More
you,
than happy.
and you know, get to the bottom of a deeper understanding between.
Yeah.
Whether it's
between everyone.
whether it's the band account or my personal account on
That's
any
it.
platform. I don't
Conversate.
mind.
Conversate is how we grow. It's how we
Mhm.
learn. It's how we expand our minds. It's, yeah.
So
That's
going
the
back
point.
to this EP here.
Let's go back to something.
You,
something.
you guys, I don't know how much you guys have revealed about the EP as a whole, so I don't want to necessarily
I don't really care.
speak
talk
too much
it
about stuff. But so, are you happy for me to sort of
Yeah,
talk
yeah, yeah.
about? Okay.
Yeah, you're more than
Um,
welcome to. More than welcome to.
Well, I'm not going to
Rough
get into I'm not going to get into release plans or anything about it.
That's
but,
alright. I haven't even figured it out either.
So you guys have got this EP that we've recorded that's going to be coming out. The EP is called War Crimes Inc., which is also one of you guys' songs. So that's the title track from the EP, which I guess ties into a lot of what we were talking about previously as well, around the military-industrial complex. So there's multiple songs on there. In that line, there's a lot of songs that kind of twist Australian Australian sayings, things like that. So you've got Advanced Australia Unfair. There's an updated version of Lest We Forget. You guys have got We Remember You on there as well. So lots of this, military focused stuff. Have you guys copped any flack for having songs like that in the past? Are you anticipating to cop flack from something like that?
I
hope
am.
so.
I am looking forward to whatever shit comes my way. No, we did when we did the
Let's
yeah,
not
as you
name
said,
drop
there's
here,
a.
out of respect.
No, I'm not gonna name drop. I'm not gonna name drop.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I'll be
Before
respectful.
you go, I'm sorry. We just had our
problem.
first Tier 1 subscriber, Daddy Frank 4450.
Oh, lovely.
Big shout out to you, my
love
friend.
Frank. Much
I
love.
think
Thank
I
you so much,
recognize that name actually.
Do I have to shake my ass on screen?
Daddy
or something?
Frank.
No,
please
no.
don't.
Great
Please
art.
don't.
Great art, Daddy Frank.
I see enough of your ass as is, Blake. It's alright.
Sorry, guys.
What was I saying? Thank you. As you said, Raph, yeah, we got an updated version of Lest We Forget on the EP version, so we already have a single version of Lest We Forget. That one we did get we got like one comment, sort of a flack, which was like, oh, it's a bit insensitive to release it on Remembrance Day. Which it was like, all right, mate, at least wait till you actually hear the fucking song. Like, you'll be surprised how actually in support it is of veterans, as opposed to like your immediate assumption that it is. Just because I'm like ironically using a very Aussie catchphrase, it's like doesn't mean I'm necessarily like hating on veterans. I like veterans, soldiers not so much. Veterans, however, they've
supporting
they got lives.
supporting the it's I guess it's the saying, right? Like supporting the troops, not the war. Right? Like supporting the troops, not the military. Like as individuals, you can go like, yep, you have horrific job to do, and I want to do, we want to be able, as a society, should do more to support people coming back from those horrific situations, like therapy and both physical and mental and emotional support that these people need, right? Otherwise, they fall into struggling with their mental health, which can lead to all number of issues, as we've touched on before: homelessness, drug addiction of various kinds, and just that it also leads into like generational trauma, which can have impacts for decades down the line. So it's important that, as you say, like the troops have this support, which the song very much is. The song's very much in that angle.
Yeah, it's sort of more just like trying to be kind of honest about like what the mind of a what's going on through the mind of a veteran would be. Like again, as I said earlier, I really like to think that most veterans are not just like soulless, heartless humans that don't give a fuck
Yeah,
about the things that they took
absolutely.
part in. I'd like to think that they have eventually some introspection. I mean, due to all their ailments, they got plenty of time.
Mm.
So that was sort of more what it's about.
I think I know that follower.
Fuzzball
for-
Baggins, thank you.
Yeah,
for
I think I know who that is.
Thank you for the
I think I
follow.
know who that is.
And we'll also say as
I
well,
do too.
PKXBT.
What's up? How you going?
Seems to be digging. Mason.
Mason's
as
hot.
asking
Can I
for
have his
Mason's
number?
I did see that earlier.
He's privately DM'd.
So
Yeah, just send him a message. Send him a message on
My-
Facebook. You never know.
Follow
my
us on
phone,
Instagram.
my phone number is Chinese. You won't be able to message it. So-
I mean, okay, not to dox you here, but I pulled your phone. I didn't get your phone number off you personally. So maybe run an ad before I say this.
What? So just you're gonna say
Yeah,
it
I'm gonna do
anyway.
it. I'm gonna tell him how I found your phone number. Yeah, sure.
How?
You don't remember? My
No,
goodness.
to be absolutely honest,
You've
I
got
do
it
not
connected
remember.
to the Facebook
Oh,
page.
Oh yeah, it's also on our Instagram. It's also on our TikTok. It's whatever. I don't care.
there you go.
Like,
There you
look,
go.
if,
You'll
if,
be
if
able to
I
find
get
him.
if I get a phone call and it says private number or just a number and I don't recognize that number, it doesn't have a name, I'm not answering that fucking thing. I don't give a shit. Message me first.
Oh, he
I
did.
have a life to live.
All right. So the EP, obviously, well, we're guessing it's coming out sometime this year.
Yeah.
Barring any
Aiming for
cataclysmic
Anzac Day.
circumstances.
Hopefully.
But all right, so that EP is coming out. That's going to be good. Hopefully, it's all going to be done and settled by the time I go to the States. PKXBT is going to want to buy 10
10 of them,
copies.
10 copies of the EP.
10 copies
Cool.
already sold. There you go.
Wow.
Let's look at. Let's go to some of our segments, eh? What do you reckon?
Yeah, let's do it.
You got the thing ready
I
for the
do,
quick
man. I
question
do.
quarter?
Let's go. Let's go. Let me just hit mute on
Alright.
this background music.
Hit the thing.
What's happening? I have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
He's hitting a
Cut
Segue.
away.
I
Cut
Hitting
away.
the button.
Let's go.
hitting a
watched
cutaway.
one
All
of
right.
those.
So,
Ah.
welcome to the quick question quarter, where we do a little bit of rapid fire questions for you guys, and just get to know you a little bit better, help the audience know you a little bit better, and maybe learn a little more about who you are as people. So,
Terrifying.
how's it, Halo? Smooth transition. Oh, look, it's a shit show down here. Obviously, it's a shit show down here all the fucking time.
No,
We're like
it's
flying
working.
by the seat of our
It's
pants.
working, mate. I'm prepared all the time now.
All right, so I'm going to ask these questions. You guys both answer them. Obviously, I don't know who you guys is going to want to go first. But what was the first instrument that you ever played or learned? We'll say learned.
Like you go first on this one.
What? Because I have more experience.
Yeah.
I learned. I picked up guitar yonks ago. Almost must have been a decade at this point. Sort of taught myself off YouTube videos. You know, I don't have perfect pitch, but it's like I didn't learn through a tuner. You know.
Talking about the movie Perfect Pitch.
Haven't seen it. Sorry.
You should watch it. It's pretty funny.
It's a really good guy movie.
All right. Yeah, I'll put it on the list. Oh.
I only know how to play guitar, and to be honest, saying that I know how to play guitar is really overstating it.
Hence
Yeah,
why
right.
I'm the bassist.
Raph is laughing because he knows.
You're not giving yourself enough credit. You're
I
not giving
have
yourself
I
enough
have a
credit. You're fine.
style, and that style is incompetent.
What was the first album that you purchased? So we're discounting like, you know,
The ones your mum and dad got
the
you.
ones your mum and dad would have got you and stuff, or at least the first album where you were like, I want that album, and then you obtained it.
This
might-
is gonna. You want to go first?
No.
Okay.
No.
Mine's
Oh,
gonna
that's gonna
sound
be a good one.
so bloody weird. Encore by Eminem.
Oh,
But
Look, that's
if
a
you
good
want,
album.
if you want more of a rock one, then Rage, the first Rage album.
Oh,
Okay. Yep.
they're good albums. Like both of those are good albums.
They are. They really are.
I'm gonna
All
be
right.
honest.
Fess up.
I don't think I've ever paid
I've never-
money for an album.
I don't
other
think I've
than
seen you on a
Spotify.
These people are too young.
Yeah, Carl's off
This is-
later.
Yeah. Oh, we're in
Oh,
struggle,
these
man.
these fucking Zoomers, I'm done with this shit. Let's go.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I live in the digital era. I actually, weirdly enough, I don't listen to a lot of artists overall. More so, I hear one song, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna learn how to play it, and then never do any more research than that.
But you can play anything.
Yeah, but I don't know any more than 2 or 3 Rage Against the Machine songs.
You know more than that.
Oh,
Fuck
disappointing,
You totally
disappointing.
know more than that. That's
Oh,
so
yeah.
undercutting it.
You should have the whole discography memorized,
Yeah, right.
note for note. What kind of left-wing person are you to not know all the Rage Against the Machine stuff?
Up
To be
until
fair, that's my thing.
Yeah, up until we started recording this EP, I hadn't listened to any of the EPs, or I hadn't listened to Rage in the whole. I'd listened to, you know, Killing in the Name because we play it live, but that's it. So,
Wow. You
up
guys
until
have
a few
music.
months ago-
You guys have like music political journeys to go through. Wow.
I'm gonna
yeah.
have to come up with a fucking list. I'm gonna have to
At
come
this
up with
Yeah,
a
point,
you're
fucking
gonna have
I
to
list.
school these
Yeah,
kids.
look. If you want to come up with them, we'll take it. I will listen to them eventually. My music interests are so obscure.
I think we need to start we need to start
Eminem,
like education
obscure.
episodes, Kyle. We need to start
Yeah.
doing like
It's not so much the
educate the younger folk. All right, getting back. So, what was the first live concert that you
Oh.
attended?
There's
So
a
again,
festival
we're
now?
gonna exclude like if your parents took you to see the Wiggles or
Oh,
some shit.
okay.
Right, we're gonna say like a gig where you were like, you know, you found some music and you're like, all right, I want to go. We started having a bit more self-determination around that stuff.
Mom, I have to go to this concert. If I don't go to this concert, I'm going to hold my breath and I'm going to go blue. I'm going to fall on the floor.
You guys are
That's
really
one I
gonna
actually
hate my-
wanted to go to. Well, the name.
Or do you not go to concerts either?
No, I go to crave shows.
Oh,
Like-
I wait till you hear my answer.
Oh, yeah. I sort of only picked up because I was a bedroom musician for, you know, since I was 12, and then I didn't actually go to gigs until I was like 20, because I didn't have friends in that scene. And eventually, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go say good day to see some people play some shows, and I came across Crave. My lord, Crave. Bruh. They really tick some boxes up in my brain there.
They are a solid fucking
I'm
band.
just friends with their drummer.
Yeah. Also, I kissed their old drummer a little while ago.
Oh,
That
Sam-
was a whole thing. I
Sam-
remember
That was a whole thing. Don't worry about it.
Well done. You've now caused band drama.
Eh,
Anyways, my answer.
Your turn.
Yeah. You're guys gonna hate me. I don't think I've actually been to one.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Other than your own gigs.
Because. Oh, okay. Like I've been to a few local ones around Brisbane, but like, do they fucking count?
Mm-mm.
That's what it is. That's your first
I
gig.
guess,
Like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you just do local ones.
I think like a
If you haven't
Monsters
been to-
Up North gig. Yeah. I don't know. Like,
That's the
because
good
I
band.
first got into music and wanting to do music and listening to music and wanting to see live music just as COVID happened.
Oh,
Great
Okay.
convenience, real good convenience. Otherwise, it was the Blues Fest in
That-
Byron Bay, and that thing I found was boring, and I was mainly taken to it by my parents.
No, look, that's fair enough. I mean, hey, COVID would have made it difficult. So that's fair. That's very much fair enough.
It did. I was
Um,
so keen to get into the music scene, and then it just was like ripped away.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you
And
guys
you
have
know
2
what?
years to
That
perfect it.
story is probably going to be more common than
A lot of people think now.
A lot of like people in your age group, and something like that could really like kill someone's interest in music too.
I didn't even think of that. Just like
Uh,
you hit your peak at 18, you're ready to go out, start hitting concerts and going into pubs, and they just go, no,
Yeah.
it's shot. Shot 18 to 20, you're done.
Terrible.
Yeah, well, we got to make that happen. Yeah, PKXBT says they got to take you out to a big show now, a big gig.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
have,
I mean, I've
There's
been
so-
you have an
to, like,
admirer.
apparently.
There's something about it when
Apparently.
you're in a massive room surrounded by, like 30,000 other sweaty people, all there to see the same shit, and you're all like, there's nothing better than when you're around thousands of people that are all on the same vibe. Because you're all there to see
Definitely.
the same thing. It's just something special.
Definitely
The energy in the
definitely
room,
is.
you could fucking power a city off it.
All right. So, what's an instrument that you've always wanted to learn but haven't got around to yet?
Drums.
Ah.
Drums.
Yeah,
Always drums.
drums.
I always feel like if I didn't have the ego or like the beginning ego to like make me want to be the guy, the front person, thus I had to be a
Man,
guitarist.
I think
right,
I think if you were on drums, it'd be literally just like watching Animal.
Yeah.
From the Muppets.
Mate,
Like,
there would be no beat, like there would be no theme or like rhythm or anything. It'd be a fucking nightmare. But somehow it would sound good. I don't know. But thank God
yeah.
I got fucking Hayden.
God, Hayden is so good at the drums. Holy shit. No wonder he's in half the bands in Brisbane. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, he's one of those
Brisbane's,
drummers, is he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Brisbane's what's his name again? The guy from Blink 182, Travis Barker. There we
Travis
go. He's
Barker.
Brisbane's Travis Barker.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's anyway. Cut myself up. An instrument that I've always wanted to like properly learn was piano, certainly. Which
And we
Good
see a
choice.
keyboard in the back
Yeah.
there.
it just so happens that I've moved this into my room now, and I can play like the Halo theme. You know, that's about it. Gotta
To be
start-
fair,
gotta-
that is
gotta-
so
Look,
mad.
gotta start somewhere. Gotta
Yeah.
start somewhere. But it is a good instrument. It really is. I've said many times. I think it's something that every musician should strive to get at least a basic understanding of, because you've got, not the full range of all available notes necessarily, but the full range of notes that most instruments you're going to encounter,
Mm.
are covered in a piano.
Yeah, all
And
12 of them.
you learn a lot about being your own accompaniment and playing the chords and the melody yourself as well, and the way that works, they all work together. So it's a really interesting. I definitely think it's something that every musician should learn at some point for sure.
Very easy to play, but infinitely complex.
Yes, and much like guitar, it's easy to start out and start getting the basics, but it's extremely difficult to master. So
yeah.
Oh, I feel
Uh,
that one.
if you could pick one big band or artist to open a show for, who would it be? Now, this can be anybody living or dead. It can be any band, active or not. It can be any lineup of the band that you're choosing. This is just like if you could change time and space to make it happen, who would you want to open a show for?
I feel like I'm split between Nirvana or Rage Against the Machine.
What about both?
Don't
Yeah,
Only you can pick one. That's the point of the question.
Is it
Why?
is it one? Oh, okay.
It's one,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go
You
with
just
one. You
say,
go with the
oh,
other.
yeah. You did just go like, oh yeah, let's just do the whole set run
Yeah, you know,
of the gig. Yeah.
I mean-
Yeah.
band 1, band 2, band 3.
politically and like goal-driven, Rage is the obvious choice. Like,
Mhm.
it's and they're still around, so it's possible.
Exactly. Tom Morello.
You're going to America soon, Raph. If
tee
you see
it
Tom
up.
Morello,
Mate,
yeah.
I was supposed to go and see Rage Against the Machine while I was there.
Oh,
I had tickets, but the shows got canned
oh
Because
no!
of Zach De La Rocca's-
because of his leg. Yeah, because of his leg
got
injury,
fucked.
unfortunately.
if you
So I
see
understand why.
If you
He's
see
like-
I
a,
understand why.
if you see a blue spotlight somewhere, Tom Morello will be close by.
He's like the Batman of the music scene.
Yeah, just that blue
Sort of just-
spotlight. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So, right. Who is a band that you're listening to lately that you believe is seriously underrated and deserves more attention?
All right, let me go to Spotify.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
Everyone does it.
Yep. Gotta find them. Gotta find them.
Excuse
Look,
me for a
Wait, hang
moment.
on. Do they have to have like more than one song?
It's just the song you think is.
No,
Well,
this is
yeah.
someone's a band that you're like, people need to be on this shit.
You know,
Ah.
this is not really a thing I normally like think too much about.
Should I say Weird Al Yankovic?
Yeah, I really, I
think-
really feel like
yeah,
people
he's
need to know about
underrated.
Weird Al Yankovic.
He's such an up and comer. He's such an up and comer. You know, like more
Yeah,
people.
I mean.
While you guys are looking at that, I'll just go back to the chat there for sure. Hazard Halo said Head PE's about to tour soon. That'll be a really good first concert. I can confirm that they are a good show for sure. PKXBT said I'll take Mason to Ed Sheeran next month. So
No.
there you go. That could be good. And
Actually,
PKXBT thinks that you could pick Nirvana out of that too. You guys should have done. Nirvana
Yeah, I
rather
mean,
than Raid, but
if you're gonna go for a general
Musical vibe, we're definitely more Nirvana-esque. I think Blake put it really best one time recently. I went over to his place and he was trying to come up with some riffs for us to do. And he was like, "Yeah, you basically just do Nirvana, but then fast." Which, to be honest, felt like the most honest description of my playstyle.
yeah.
So how we going? Have we found us an answer yet?
Oh, you know,
Reckless
there's this
Coast.
really
Reckless Coast.
there's this
Another
really
Brisbane
small band. I don't think anyone's heard of them. They're from
I swear
like,
to fuck if you
the
say
north of
Skunk Bone.
Brisbane. They're well, all right. So starting again. Fuck.
Sorry, Blake. What
you've
was your one?
You've taken out like my only
Taking the
option.
wind from his sails. I was going to say Reckless Coast. I really like those guys. They formerly Rude Rum, another Brizzy band. Those guys are great. Holy shit, they do Joker and the Thief as their like only cover song, and it is spot on.
Nice.
I really like those guys.
It's
Anyway.
good.
I don't
Their
know if this
bassist is really fucking good, and
I don't know if this is considered underrated. No, well, now that I'm looking at the Spotify, 846 monthly listeners. That's pretty underrated. Agapantha from I think they're from Adelaide. I might be wrong about that. Maybe it's Melbourne. I can't remember. It's one of those two. I really like them. They're really cool. They got sort of like a sort of like a neo grunge sound. But they talk about a lot of like insecure masculine topics, and I feel like it's a subject that needs to be talked a lot about in general. So from the
Awesome.
sort of I want to be better masculine perspective, which we can only do with more of.
Yes, absolutely. All right. What is something that people may be surprised to learn about you?
At this point,
You only started playing guitar.
that's not surprising.
It is surprising.
I'm as obviously terrible as I am.
The
Yeah, I
mastering
started-
says otherwise.
No, that was Raph playing.
Yeah.
I just told him what to do.
So I put my
No,
finger here.
Yeah, it was like, all right, so put your finger on 4th fret, 3rd string down. You're like, well, so
Yeah.
what? This note? I don't know.
Yeah.
Note?
So what's
No,
the
it's a
question
string.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Why does your tablature only have 5 strings and it's black dots instead of numbers? What is this?
Fuck
I
is a
don't.
tablature?
No, I at least know tab.
Tab is the best. I remember the
That's
first.
mathematics. That's mathematics. It works for my ADHD brain. I can understand that. Sorry, what did you say? Something surprising about us?
Yeah.
Well, I can go first if you need to
Yeah,
think.
please do, because I'll need to think.
Okay, so I am the bassist of the band, obviously. I only started playing bass when I joined the band. Like I picked up my, the family bass that's like kicking around. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be at the front. I don't know how to solo all that well, but I've been playing for 10 years, so I want to go play some guitar. And I was like, yeah, all right.
So you're still in your failed guitarist stage.
Hey, I haven't tried to make anything out of it yet.
To be
So-
fair,
to be fair, there is a
Colin
clear.
Paddle fails, then yes.
I say it because I went through the same thing. Don't worry, I call myself a failed guitarist as well. Don't worry.
Look,
Yeah.
to be fair to Blake, he is a much better guitarist than me.
Yeah.
It's just I have original content.
Yeah, I don't have original ideas. That's
yeah.
yeah.
I'm weird. I'd probably like going off a similar vein to that one. I'd probably say people ask me quite often. They are quite surprised by this answer.
You're only
how
3
long-
inches, really?
Yeah, exactly. No. How long have I been learning how to sing for? And I tell them I about 3 months, and that's like I only put like 3 months of actual effort in, and that was like at the beginning of last year, and it was because Blake and an ex with a keyboard was like pressed a note. All right, what's that? And I'm like, I have no clue. I have no. They're like, we'll try and mimic it. Nope, I can't do it. And so I just did warm-ups, and then apparently I started to sound alright. And at a gig, a band. I feel like you guys know him. Trip Sitter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Jack.
Oh, Jackie boy,
Yeah.
he's a genius,
Yeah,
man. He's a genius.
He
Mr.
said.
Porno Director Jack.
He said to me in between, like, we're walking past each other as we're taking gear off, and he's putting gear on. He's like, "Oh, how long have you been learning to sing for, man? That voice is really good." I'm like, "Oh, like three months," and he's like, "Fuck off! It took 10 years to get here, and you're like 3 months." I'm like, I just did warm ups. I've learned I'm very good at
naturally loud.
getting. Yeah, well, yeah. I don't even need a microphone. There are recordings of us where we didn't even have a microphone. You could still hear me perfectly
That's
fine.
good. That's good. Your projection's good. Just go on YouTube and just learn different vocal warm ups.
Well, that's what I did.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
what I did.
There you go. Perfect.
Awesome. So next question then. Look, I know it'll probably be a short list for yourselves. What is the cringiest band name or song name that you've been involved with?
Oh, that's easy for me. The thing that the band or whatever that I was having just before Blake basically joined, which was called Self-Inflicted, because it was like, I don't know, a slightly more emo-esque version of what we are.
Oof.
Yeah, exactly. Oof is the right word to describe it.
I mean, Hayden would have loved it. He's
Yeah, Hayden
Emo
really
and pop
joined in
punk.
at the wrong point.
uh,
He should have been there from the get-go.
No,
It's just
everything
lost.
happens for a reason.
Mm.
It's done.
yeah. Let me think. I'm just trying to think of the worst title you've ever come up with, Mason, because I haven't been involved in any other projects, so.
Oh, thank you.
We're
I'm glad
listening
you
to you.
clarified. I'm glad you clarified that you don't mean as in I just casually come out with really bad ones.
No,
and so you
no,
gotta
yeah,
try
no.
and figure out the worst.
No, he has
It's
no
that
other
you-
examples.
It's because you've been in nothing else.
Yeah, it's
It's not me. It's you. I
Yeah,
understand.
He
It's all
doesn't.
good.
He doesn't know any better. It's not his fault.
You know, I try my hardest to make you cringe, but you know, I didn't realize it was.
I mean, I in a weird way, maybe Advance Australia are
I
unfair.
knew you were gonna say it. Yes.
Yeah, no, but this has a story. This isn't just a meme. Because I don't remember saying it, but you told me that I told you that AAU was a stupid title.
Yeah.
Like back
You
when
did.
it was created.
Well, you didn't say stupid. You said cringe.
Oh, something along those lines. Yeah, so...
Well, you said
and
like.
then-
Oh yeah, you said something along the lines of, well, yeah, okay, Advance Australia, unfair. Oh, how very creative. And I was like, yeah, well, you know, I'm just trying to mimic Sex Pistols' "God Save the Queen," but in a better way. And you're like, yeah, it's just like, well, I mean, look, I guess if you're gonna call it anything, I guess that's what you're gonna call it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so let's shut the fuck up about the subject and just move on.
Yeah, and then 8 months later,
that's-
and here it is,
hey,
and it's
That's
getting
fair
released.
enough.
That's
That's
it.
fair
Yeah,
enough.
exactly. As I
All
always
right.
point out to you, trust my genius. It's just scattered.
It's just trust the process. Don't argue with it. Just
And-
trust the process.
What is your most controversial musical opinion?
Oh god, there's too many.
Just pick the most or one of the most controversial ones.
But like the thing is, there's so many good ones.
Yeah, well,
I
you
know
gotta-
what I-
Pissed off so many people.
I know what I want to say, but I don't know who to say it about.
Who do I think isn't that good that people think are good?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Oh, there's
I don't
so
know.
many bands.
It can be anything. It can be about punters. It can be about.
Metallica.
It can be about venues. It can be about.
Oh,
It can be about
Oh.
anything
No,
within the
I
industry.
can't-
It doesn't just have to
Doesn't
be
be
like,
about
oh,
bands.
everyone likes this band, I don't
No,
like
no,
them.
no.
Anything
Something
to do
about-
with the music
yeah.
industry.
Okay.
and-
I've got one.
I don't.
Uh,
Okay, you mentioned. Oh, sorry. You want to
oh,
go first?
I will go first. Thank you very
You
much.
go first. You go first.
Shut up. I think a lot, if not all, of the Brisbane music scene is carried by King Lear's Throne, the
Mhm.
venue. Those
Mhm.
good old Kenny. That he does, free gigs. He does all sorts of stuff. He, sort of the little-known hole in the wall down the street that has hosted every single band that's played in Brisbane. I'm sure you've played there if you've played in Brisbane for any more than a few months. So I think they are seriously underrated when it comes to.
Controversial, not underrated.
No,
That's
no,
still
no, It's
controversial.
still controversial. Like you got to think a
Yeah,
venue, a
like-
venue like that pulls
Yeah, someone would
literally
say
everyone through
Tomcat,
Brisbane.
Yeah,
Are you saying as in like it is the best? That's controversial.
I would say it's like better than Tomcat, for example.
Gotcha. Yeah.
When
okay,
it comes to
okay.
musical variety and overall
Mm.
welcoming presence as a
Mhm.
as
That's
a
good
venue.
local one. We haven't had a local
Yeah.
one.
All right. So here's my thoughts on Skunkbone. No. No.
No, he has the
Uh,
delete button. Remember?
Bring it. Bring it.
You haven't got your tracks yet.
Yeah, I got the great
Just
Can't retaliate.
delete
I
button.
like-
Are you gonna?
I like to remind people whenever I tell people like, oh yeah, by the way, like Skunkbone, like Raph from Skunkbone, he's recording the EP, and I got Zach the drummer from Skunkbone to do the art and blah blah blah. So they really helped. I always like to remind people, yeah. So I met them. This is how I met them, as you mentioned, Raph, at Moondall. I
Yes,
met you
Moondall.
guys purely because as Corey was starting to walk past me, I said, "So, were you going in intending to sound like Nirvana, or was that by coincidence?" And he just was like, "Yeah, that was it just ended up that way." No, controversial opinion though.
Exactly how Corey
Say
sounds.
something.
too.
Oh, I've got say something about Violent Soho.
Oh yeah, okay. Violent Soho shit. They're not worth it. Their first album,
Wholeheartedly
alright. Their
disagree.
first album's decent. Don't get me wrong. It's a good first album. Bloody
Waco
great
is
album.
one of the greatest albums ever made.
Which one, sorry?
Waco.
Well,
Waco was
that,
amazing.
yep. You know, people are allowed to have their opinions.
No,
Agree,
I
agree.
don't,
but no,
I don't think he should be genocided for it, but some other people might.
What is
Uh,
I can understand.
I
what
just
you-
don't think they're that good.
No,
I just think that they're
oh.
very unoriginal. I just feel like all their songs sound the same, and he just
They
does
all
this.
scream, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, you know
I'll
what?
give you that. I'll
Sounds
give you
great. Sounds great in which song was it again? Fuck. It sounded great in one of the few songs he did it
Covered in
on.
Chrome. Covered in chrome.
Yeah, before that though. Before that, because I'm pretty
Jesus
sure he
stole
did it
my
in Jesus
girlfriend.
Stole My Girlfriend or whatever. He did it in at least one or two songs of that.
Yeah.
Maybe the song itself. But after that, it's just like fucking learn a new word. Learn a
Yeah,
new
I'll give you that.
word.
Maybe that's why they
And
went on
I find-
hiatus. Maybe he ran
I've-
out of years.
No, he clearly didn't because he kept saying it. And I just, as someone who cares a lot about lyricism, I don't think their lyricism's all that great. I think it's very unoriginal, and someone's guitar playing is unoriginal. Someone's. It's either his, and I say his as the front person, or the other person. I don't know who, but boy, every single time I listen to one of their songs, I'm like, I could do this better, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Do a cover. Do a cover just to stick it to them.
no.
But we already do Killing in the Name better than Rage.
Whoa.
Not until tomorrow.
Raph, we'll find out. Eh?
Anyway, all right.
Battle.
So that was some. That was
I
some
like
good
it. That was
ones.
a good
I'm
one.
really
I
looking.
like
I'm really
that.
looking forward to this next segment. I'm really looking forward to the next segment. Kyle, have you got ready for the cutaway?
I do. Just let me mute this piano music that we have going in the background.
Lovely. Hit the cutaway.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Right. Time for everyone's favorite segment, the fuck off files. So, if you haven't watched the podcast before, firstly, hello. Secondly, sort your life out. And the fuck off files is where we ask our guests to name 3 things that they would like to fuck off out of the music industry, and they tell us what they are and why. So,
3 things.
you guys can do 3 each. You can do, I don't know,
One
you can
each
do
and
3
one.
across you or whatever you want to do.
I
But-
already got one.
All right.
All right, what is it?
Well, one of mine is I really hate. This is a huge pet peeve of mine. Band merch shirts where they'll have like a really cool design. It'll be like it's not from a particular album necessarily. It's not from. It's not their logo. It's just really cool design, unique thing. You're like, oh, that's really cool, but it's always on the back. And then they have their small little band logo here, and it's like, cool. So I'll check it out on the way past you. Like it's fucking everyone does it, but like
Except us.
I
we
want to
haven't done
see
it
that
yet.
shit on the front. Yeah, we don't do that because we're cool. Everyone puts it on the back. Like I don't want the person creeping up behind me to see how cool my shirt is. I want the people I'm talking to see how cool my shirt is. So there we go. That's one.
I like it.
I
That's
feel
a
like
good
it's a
one.
really stupid trend.
No,
Cool,
I like it.
cool.
Aesthetics on band t-shirts. Put them in the right places, people.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think if you got cool, if you got like big designs on front and back, definitely, that's pretty cool. I think, and something I think a lot of bands don't consider is do it the other way around. Have like a big cool design on the front, and then have like a small logo or something on the back in the middle.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what we do.
Mate, I have
Oh,
an example. I have it prepared. Oh no,
Did
that's another Crave shirt. Never mind.
I had another Crave shirt prepared, apparently.
Unentitled merch. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eternal
That's
obligations.
the front. And then the back is
There
actually
we go.
got unentitled on it.
Yeah,
Fine,
see,
it's
there
out
you
of the
go.
way.
That's what I'm
Perfect
talking about.
example.
Yes, perfect
That's what I'm
example.
talking about. Do that for sure.
We
We
might
live-
even have some in stock if you want to buy.
Yeah, we do actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, live by example, right?
That's a good
Alrighty,
one.
Yeah.
alrighty.
Would it be alright if I quickly go to the toilet? It might
Yeah.
be long, and
Yeah,
Blake
look, we'll.
can-
Blake's gonna do his
Blake,
one.
You give us your. Blake, you give us your.
You've got
Your
getting shirt
thing.
examples.
Well, my example is I also need to go to the bathroom. So do you guys want to talk shit while we're gone?
Oh, fucking hell! All right, hang on. Let's just go for a quick ad break.
Yeah.
We'll go for a 3-minute ad break. And
Not
Yeah.
for
Oh,
Danny
no.
Frankfurt.
no, we can't take the fucking ad break yet. It must have
No.
run an ad recently.
That's all right. We'll
That's
make
all right.
it.
You
Yeah,
go.
you guys go. We'll talk.
All
We'll
right, much
talk.
appreciated.
There we go.
Oh my god. Okay.
These guys are nuts. I love them. They're great. They're
Oh,
great.
it's-
They are an
yeah.
embodiment. They are an embodiment of what punk is, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, just that. Oh, yeah. The only thing, because it's just so they're so unapologetic about their music. They do what they want. They don't give a shit about the boundaries or any real social boundaries or obstructions that are in front of them. They are still very mindful. Good call on that change. And yeah, like these guys are fucking. I'm very interested. I can't wait to hear this EP. I can't wait to hear what
Yeah.
you've done with the recording.
I
Excuse
think
me.
once I've got the final masters from those guys, I might shoot you a sneak. Shoot you a link.
Oh, do it.
Think, don't tell them. Don't tell them.
Oh, wait, they're in the bathroom.
Let's just hope they don't listen back to this. No, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll sling you those. You can have a quick little sneaky listen beforehand. Show them off and all that good stuff.
Yeah, mad.
But yeah, so that's yeah. We hope chat. How's everyone doing
Yeah,
in
how
the
you
chat?
going? How's it, Halo? PK, thank you so much for getting involved tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, much love, much love. It's good to hear from you, Hazard Halo, every week. I know you're always there watching, even if
Yeah,
you're not
thank you.
particularly active in the
Thank
chat
you.
that week. And again,
CJ,
massive
how you
shout out to
going?
Daddy, massive shout out to Daddy Frank for the subscription.
Yeah,
or
thank
the
you.
tier subscription. Thank you so much. That means a lot. It's a big help to us and allows us to continue on. Had a couple of jacks, did not plan to, but here we are. Well, you know, it's the Two Dudes podcast. You gotta
Yeah.
have.
I see Blake just fucked off.
Had a couple of drinks too. So yeah, it was like you guys both went and took care of that. But all right,
I see. We had a toilet break.
we're back.
Yeah, he's did.
Okay, I've figured out something I hate about the music industry.
Okay.
Lovely, lovely.
CJ, how you going, CJ? What's cracking, dude?
Music.
Music. I hate music. Yes. No, music labels. Fuck them off. They're all. If there's anything I hate, it's capitalism, and they're all conglomerate, owning everything in the music industry, and can't
I
get
think-
anywhere without their money. And
Mhm.
I think major labels.
Major one.
Major labels.
certainly, yeah, no.
My
Things like-
indie labels and stuff that are genuinely support their artists and you know operate the way they used to. Fuzzball Baggins says down with capitalism. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
go
you so
Fuzz.
much.
Yes.
Burn it all to the fucking ground. Cool. So would you guys want to give us one more then for the fuck off files?
All right. Just trying to think if there's anything based off of experience, like any like.
Pop punk moments. We need to have less of those.
Oh.
Okay,
guys-
yep. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
okay.
we
I know
have a
what you're
bit of a
talking about.
joke amongst us for I won't. Don't worry, I'm going to be very safe with this language. Certain behavior that seems to very weirdly enough happen only among the pop punk genre more than any other.
The pop punk
refer-
bands.
In relation to young people, very young
Understand.
people, and yeah, we as a band we call it a pop punk moment, because it's just become a bit fucking insane.
Oh, jeez.
Every other week, there's a new controversy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Or a rumor, let's just say.
Well, is that just within the sort of small community within Brisbane, or is that more?
No, across
Pop
the
punk
board. I
as
mean,
a genre.
Yeah,
Pop
the
as a
genre.
is
Okay.
notorious
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
the genre, but
I
we'll
don't
leave
exactly
that
listen
open.
to a lot of pop punk. If you have a look at me, it's not exactly like I'm like, woo.
You don't say.
You know, I figured you would be
All about a
really into songs about girls dumping you.
Yeah, well, I've been there plenty of times, and probably in my younger days, and there would have been a bit of a hoobastank or something like that. But I'm not a perfect person and stuff like that. But that was probably a bit,
I can't get over
my
ex,
yeah.
a fucking 16-year-old girl.
wouldn't go that far.
Why
but-
we
He
need
said
less
it.
pop punk moments.
He said it, not us. So Twitch, that was on them. The ones who own the thing, not us.
Isn't that like just like every pop punk song ever though? Like, isn't that how that goes?
Look, this is my issue with pop punk, and I've always had this issue with pop punk. Once you hit,
Pop.
I like pop music. I just like music. But once you hit 21, you're not allowed to talk about like standing out the front of a girl's house because it's not cool when you're that old. Like it's cute when you're 16. Really, it's not even cute when you're 16. Let's be
I was
honest here.
gonna say.
Let's be honest here.
gonna
It's
say,
really
let's
not cute
just,
when you're
like,
16. Let's cut the stalkerish behavior. Stop it now. Like
Really creepy.
like, but you got to think. Back in
Well,
the
it's
day,
like it's like when we were like Skunkbone, we were looking at songs to cover. When we were we talk about stuff, we're always looking at some options there. And one of them we were talking about maybe covering like Blink 182, and we were like, oh, what songs could we do? Blah blah blah. And we like Rock Show came up, and then we're like, do we really want to be singing about like waiting till our parents go out of town so we can go over? And it's a bit so we kind of like, nah, let's not do that
We're
one.
too old for this.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like this may be nostalgic, but like still.
yeah. The
Yeah.
problem is pop punk turned into emo. Because essentially it became a thing of you can't talk about hounding these girls anymore. Now I just have to talk about all these girls that have dumped my ass.
Yeah, after.
Yeah,
you've
it's
been
like the
hounding
after
them.
the fact.
As as the one who thinks Green Day's American Idiot era was better than their previous era, I slightly disagree, but I at the same time understand what you mean.
No, I think I'd agree with that. I don't think that's too out of bounds with that. I think American Idiot was a great fucking album from them. Definitely an advancement in it, away from just being fucking
Yeah,
deadbeats and
that's a very
stoners
good.
and
Actually, no, that's a very,
kids
very,
hanging
very
around. They
good
definitely
point.
started to mature as take on more difficult topics musically. So
But then you got the other exception of the rules, like Blink.
yeah, well, we can't win them all.
Oranges and apples, I guess.
You can't win them all. So yes, that was the fuck off files. So we had um, major music labels. We had what was your first one, Mason? Sorry, I can't.
Aesthetic band
Yes, it's band
placement.
T-shirts with the
aesthetic band
yeah.
placements.
band logos, doing the big logo on the back of the shirt. Fuck that off. And pop punk moments. They can fuck off too.
See, at least Hazard Halo got the whole thing when I put my phone over my head. No, they don't.
I got
want
that
you
too.
standing-
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
girls don't want you standing outside their
No, they
window. That's
don't.
Hollywood
It's not.
myth.
It's not cute. It's creepy. Their dad's gonna
I
come
would
down
say-
and bury you in the backyard.
I'd say it's worse than just a Hollywood myth, because don't get me wrong, Hollywood definitely perpetuates it, but it's this idea that males have to like chase the girl, and that the girl wants that. When it's like, trust me, they really don't.
No.
They like just fucking treat people like human beings.
Yeah,
Like, just don't stand the front out of people's houses.
Yeah.
Like, bro, just knock on the door.
The idea that if they get rejected, then they've got to like keep trying. It's just like no,
Yeah.
you got rejected.
For a
She said
reason.
no.
Yeah.
That's it.
Take
It
the
sucks.
L.
You know what the thing is?
Take
Yeah.
it
It's
and
like
go away.
it's like
And if she's the type to say, well, I said no because I wanted you to chase me, and she's going to play those kind of games,
Not
then
worth
you
it.
don't want her anyway, bro. You don't
Not
want her
worth it.
anyway.
no.
Not worth it.
It's
That only
not
leads
worth.
to problems.
Like a girl is not a venue you have just been kicked out of. Like they've kicked you out. They've told you no. You're not meant to like constantly try and get back in. Otherwise, you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
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 Like
That's actually a really good analogy. I quite like that.
like you're out of there. You've been told no. Just leave.
Yeah, respect it.
Yeah, definitely. All
Whereas
right.
you should always try to sneak back into venues.
Oh,
Yeah.
only
Especially
if you're going to
if
miss.
Unentitled is playing, because we
Oh,
really
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care about ticket sales unless it's our own gigs. Then we do, because that's going to charity. And if
Yeah.
you don't come to our gig, look, the exception is you physically can't. Outside of physically can't make it to the gig, if you don't, then you're a terrible person. You should
For
regret
charity.
your entire life. You should feel
Uh,
guilty.
The comments made by Unentitled do not reflect the views of Skype or the Two Dudes Talk Music podcast.
But you should
Except
probably
for
go
one
out and
spot.
get a ticket. These guys are pretty.
But yes, you should go out and get a ticket to this show. I'm just going to link it again in the chat right now. So
Go through
again,
the
this
charity
show is
again. Tell
this-
everyone that's
this
watching.
show
'Cause we've
is
had some more viewers jump in. Tell everyone what the
tomorrow
charity's
night.
for.
Yeah,
tomorrow-
sure. Oh, look, hang on. Raph, did you want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, so this is the show again. This is tomorrow night. Unentitled, they are launching the new single, Advance Australia Unfair, which the single should be coming out in the days soon, in the coming days. We don't know exactly when because, the way the distribution onto platforms works, but
But it may be a
it'll be
bit
in
of
the
a delay.
coming days. But the official launch is this Friday, so tomorrow night at O'Sculligan's in the Valley. The tickets are $5 if you buy them ahead of time, or $10 at the door. It's the cheapest gig you're going to find that's not free. And O'Sculligan's is a great little venue, really nice atmosphere in there. So go down and check it out. You got Crave playing on there, you got
Skunkbone!
Shock Value, Skunk Bones playing on there, and Unentitled is going to be headlining. So
It's a
gonna
great
be
way
a
to kick
grand
off
old
the year.
day.
If you haven't been to a show yet, if you haven't been to a
Yeah.
show in the Brizzy area, I'm telling you, it's
Good
going to
one
be a
to get
great way to
started.
get your year started.
good one to get started. And yes, Dreamtime Aroha is the charity that all of the proceeds are going towards. So Mason, yes, hit us with the deets on what they do again.
So I'll try and do a more simplified version as last time. They're Indigenous run and owned business. They do dolls of Indigenous likeness to give a bit of greater representation in the toy market for children, but also their main GoFundMe is for just basically providing resources to remote communities. So this obviously disproportionately benefits Indigenous people. And maybe even just to go over a few of the things that they do with that money.
that goes to in donations. Some of it's like the typical like water, food, medical supplies, but even like hygienic supplies, especially for women. I know one thing that they do is they help fly victims of domestic violence out of their places, which, you know, being in a remote area, that's a pretty big fucking deal, to be
That is a
honest.
massive
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. They also do. I'm pretty sure that a little bit of that money goes towards like counseling sort of services. I might be wrong on that one, but
Countless things that they do.
yeah, they do heaps of stuff. It's yeah, no, they're really big as is. They got a lot of followers themselves, but nonetheless, it's always worth sending a bit more to them. And they're very passionate, very passionate political advocates of their own issues and also others, to be honest. They're really good on other issues as well. They're very intersectional, which I appreciate. It's good to have a holistic approach to solving problems, because it's not just one
used that-
issue at a time. Sorry?
You've used that word before, and depending on how you spell it, it doesn't mean what you think it means.
All right, they include everyone. Fine,
All
fuck you, Blake.
inclusive.
All
Yeah,
inclusive.
all
That's good.
I'm
inclusive
happy with that.
approach, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't look at these things as individual groups like indigenous, non-indigenous, gay, bi, and like, I don't know, disabled, and like, you know, these are the individual groups that of fighting for their little bit of the pie. No, everyone's their own makeup of all of these different things, and
Yeah.
We're all just
we all
people at
affect
the
it
end of the day.
differently. Exactly.
Awesome.
So just fucking help one another.
Yeah.
Jesus
Definitely.
Christ.
Definitely. So, all right. Well, with that, again, we'll just give another shout out as well to the Thornhill
Yeah, the
guys. All their stuff got, obviously, if you just joined us, if you didn't catch earlier and you haven't heard the news, basically their rehearsal space was broken into. Like something in the vicinity of $100,000 worth of equipment was stolen. So they're like fucking out everything at the moment. And I think they've got a tour that's about to happen too. So they really, really need the shit. So yeah, like if you can support them in any way, then please do. I'm just putting now in the chat the link to their GoFundMe as well. If you want to donate anything to help them rebuild their rehearsal space and get some of their gear replaced. So definitely go and do that if you're able to. With that, mate, yeah, I think we're just about ready to wrap it up. What have you got coming up?
I have the lovely Jolie on Tuesday at 7 p.m. That one's gonna 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, 7 p.m. for all you Queenslanders. So there's that, and
Over on the Beer Buddy channel.
That's over on the Beer Buddy channel. Yeah, and just getting ready for these giveaways and just more podcasting, a lot less drinking. My face is actually starting to get better now that I've cut down on my drinking a whole lot. So I think I'm actually going to stop for a while. So
Good.
no more
good to
beer
hear.
reviews for the moment.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, my
Nah,
man.
I'm enjoying more of the podcasting stuff anyway. The beer stuff's
Yeah.
relevant. It's
Definitely.
just alcohol, man. I'm all about the music.
Yeah.
You can only
Yeah, man,
drink
good
so
to
much
hear.
beer before it starts to go a bit. Oh, well, you know, I'm drunk now.
Yeah. My issue is it's when I go to the doctor and they go, "How much do you drink a week?" I have to work it out by 6 packs and then multiply them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, mate, I'll just tell.
Yeah.
Good old AAU lyric.
Yeah, so that's the way I have to measure my beers, and like I'll go, they'll go like, oh, I'll have 12, it's like 6 packs, and they're like, oh, okay.
Mate, I'll
well,
just tell it to you how many podcast episodes I've done.
Yeah, well,
You do the calculations
mate,
from
well, that's the thing, you know. Like, I told my missus, like, how much do you actually drink in a podcast? I'm like, oh, sometimes I can do, 8 to 10 in like a 2 or 3 hour podcast, and she's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I get thirsty. I'm talking, like my mouth gets dry.
Get yourself one of these, my dude.
I'm doing it. I only had 2
Use
during
one
this
of
one,
these,
so
okay.
it was good. But
Yeah.
enough about that.
Not
Enough
at
about that. Face getting better. I'm all good. Tuesday, go check out the Beer Buddy channel. You'll have Jolie on there. We're going to be doing the full feature for her after that massive stuff up. And yeah, what about you, Raph?
Well, obviously we got the gig tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. Beyond that, I don't think I've got anything other than podcasts lined up for us. We're going to be trying to record a few podcasts, get them in the bank before I go away. And Kyle obviously will continue to host some as well while we're gone. So that'll be awesome. I'm just having a look here. I'm just going to see who we've got lined up next week. Oh, where did we go? No, I've got to go to my calendar for that one. Sorry, guys. I am not prepared for this at all.
Well, boys, I just want to say, seriously, I cannot wait to hear the EP coming out in the upcoming days. Make sure everyone you keep an eye out on that and all the socials and stuff like that. I'm sure you'll be able to go over to Spotify and pre-save it or something. Don't they do that now? I don't know. I'm old.
There's a thing,
So,
yeah.
Next week, I got it. Next week's a good one. Next week's a big one. Y'all are going to want to tune in for this. Next week, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Todd Hansen from King Parrot is going to be on the fucking podcast next week. So
Yes.
that's going to be a good one. I've been looking forward to that one. We have had I've been acquainted with Todd for a while through some of the other stuff he does with like Kid Crusher. But yeah, look, he's a rad dude. He's been all up and down the place. He's been all over the world doing his music with King Parrot. So I'm really, really keen to have him on and shoot the shit with Todd.
It's going to be good.
That's going to be a good
That
one.
one, I might have a sneaky 2 or 3.
Yeah, we might have to have a couple of drinks in the can for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what we got coming
I'll
up
save that
next
for next
week.
week.
Mason, Blake, obviously there's a gig tomorrow night. What else is lined up for the band?
Whoa.
Oh shit.
Hell, besides
I don't-
the EP, we're doing an all ages gig. So if you're somehow on this podcast and all ages,
yeah, if
I
you're
believe-
70.
Yeah, all ages. That includes 70. I think it's on the 5th of February, right?
Yes, you're 12. You can go.
Yeah,
Just saying,
sure.
now that we've learnt that you're 12, every other previous message that you've sent is ever more disturbing.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad that
Yeah,
I
well, that's-
rejected you in every manner.
Is this one of those
That's
pop pump moments we were talking about?
Yeah, no, we don't want that. We don't want a pop-up moment,
No,
please.
this is me preventing.
I do
a
like-
Oh,
pop-up
okay.
moment.
Okay.
I
We're
do like
steering
that
clear of
phrasing
it.
though. I'm gonna steal
I'm
that.
stealing
No,
it
isn't
too.
it? It's good. It's good
Just a
because it's
regular punk
accurate.
moment.
Yeah, Justin Roiland had a pop punk moment.
He did.
R. Kelly had a pop punk moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
So we won't be having any pop punk moments, but on the 5th of February at the Backrooms, I believe we're
You
playing
actually remember it? Fuck, man, you never remember a date for a gig.
at 5:30 p.m. We'll be playing. However, there are plenty of bands going. I think from midday. So
Awesome.
all,
Well, that sounds like a great show, actually.
all ages punk venue. Anyway,
Yeah, no,
Lovely,
it's fun.
lovely, lovely, lovely. And yes, of course, the single release is coming up as well, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm sure if you're not already following the Unentitled socials, go and do that if you want to see what's going on with that single. I'm sure it'll be posted everywhere once it comes out. Yes, PK David Bowie did also have a
Punk moment.
pop punk moment.
If I remember correctly, the
Elvis
person-
Presley, Johnny Cash.
If I remember correctly, the
Oh,
David
then-
Bowie one, she admitted later that she lied about her
Oh,
age.
okay. Could we maybe throw Madonna in there? Pretty sure Madonna's had a few pop punk
Madonna?
moments.
Did she? I don't know. Maybe she has. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I think at this state, it's probably just safe to assume that most people that were big through the
80s.
the music industry as a whole up
Free
until very
now.
recently, and even
Yeah.
then, you know. But
Right now is
getting
the
back on
turning
track.
point.
Equality.
Yeah.
Yes, equality. Let's get some women on that list. I don't know if that's the kind of equality. that we're gonna be shooting for, but-
No, that's so true.
All right. So, yes, thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in, that's liked, subscribed, joined in the chat. Thank you again, Daddy Frank, for that subscription. You can,
Muchly
yes, you
appreciated,
can,
Daddy
you
Frank.
can subscribe. You can subscribe to our channel if you would like to support us a little bit financially. That goes a long way. It helps us to just keep this going and you know, make it bigger and better for everybody. So any and all support's awesome. If you can't afford to support us financially by subscribing, though, you know, like, share, follow, all that good stuff across all the socials. It'll be a grand old time. And yes, like I said, next week we got Todd Hansen lined up, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Come on, Boone. Like, no, there's These guys are not racists, okay? So let's not.
Did you really
say,
stick it
keep
out
up punk
this whole
racism.
thing just to be
I was
like,
actually, you know what? You know what the
When
worst?
I'm
You know
gonna
what?
throw
Do you
a
know what the
comment
worst
in.
part about it is? I was actually going to mention because I've been seeing if he's still in there because I can see everyone who's watching, and I was actually going to say thank you, Bundesmid, for sticking it out. But dude, you just threw the chief. You just threw a slippery in right at
Come
the
on,
end.
man.
Come on, man. Come on, you had that. You had a
Come
whole
on.
2 hour,
People-
2 hour period to have a crack there. That was
People
gutless.
people make mistakes. They improve. They can do better. Please allow people the opportunity to do that when they admit that they've done wrong.
Can I
So-
say
And
one
not
thing?
just that, he's
of
giving.
course.
Sorry, he's giving. Not just that, Mason. He's giving you an opportunity to message him privately, and you guys can talk this stuff out. He's giving
That
you a
is true.
platform, so
Can I
your
I
voice
just
is not
say-
getting heard.
Can I just say, because I'm personally in philosophy, I'm a consequentialist as far as I'm concerned. So thus, what ends up actually being resulted in the outcomes is a lot more important than what is put in. And to me, what would you rather be more concerned about? The KKK still being around and having a ever-growing membership, and like I think at the moment in America they're like trying to ban in southern states African American history. So like, do you want to complain about that, or do you want to complain about a thing that we corrected because we realized that was probably not a good thing?
And
Yeah.
not just that, man. Like I said, if he's giving you a platform, if you want to talk to him seriously, just go talk to him. Like,
Yeah, go and talk to him directly
just,
for sure.
Just yeah.
All right.
But
Thank you
like I
again,
said,
everybody,
I
for
do
watching.
appreciate you sticking around and
Yes,
sticking
thank
it out
you.
that
That's
long. Thank you.
hilarious.
Thank you for
Also-
watching and supporting us there, Boone. Like as we always say, guys, look, there's been some controversial points on the podcast today. At the end of the day, you know, what we need to do is we need to try and talk to each other, support each other, work through these things. Unless, you know, someone's a Nazi, in which case, punch him the fuck out. I don't care.
To be honest. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with sparking out a Nazi. But for the rest of us, let's try and support one another and work together. It's the only, it's the only way we're getting out of this alive. Just try and be kind to each other. And yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you again so much to Mason and Blake for coming on the podcast. Unentitled, Skunkbone, Crave, and Shock Value tomorrow at O'Sculligan's. Check that out.
That'd be
Thank
fucking
you to
awesome.
my co-host Kyle. And I think we have a special thing here. I think we're going to show, we're
Yeah.
going to close out with a video. We're going
gonna
to play a
close out with a
video
music
from
video tonight.
Unentitled. So you guys have got something going on there. Thank you so
Oh,
much. And we will catch you guys next week.
See you next week, everyone. Much love.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.